Hey kiddos, welcome to Classifying Quads. That's going to be our lesson today. I'm just going to do a really short intro for you. So what exactly are quads? Well, quads are going to be things that have four sides and four angles. So what are quadrilaterals? Quadrilaterals has four sides and they have four angles. Again, when we learned about polygons, we learned that quad, Q-U-A-D, stands for four. Quad. All right, there are four different kinds of quadrilaterals that we will be learning about. There are other kinds of quadrilaterals, but we will be focusing on four types. The first quadrilateral is a square. A square has four sides, four angles, and two pairs of parallel sides. Four sides are the same length. It also has four right angles, so it has a lot going on. This is a square. It has four sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has four angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has two pairs of parallel sides. This is parallel and this is parallel. That's one set. This is parallel and this is parallel. That is two sets of parallel lines. Four sides are the same length. These are all the same size. It also has four right angles. Notice there's an L here, an L here, an L here, and an L here. That is four right angles. Our next one is a rectangle. A rectangle has four sides. It has four angles. Notice that a rectangle and a square are the same. They have four sides and four angles. But they have two pairs of parallel sides. Two sides are the same length. They have four right angles. So here is a rectangle. A rectangle has four sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has four angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has two pairs of parallel sides. The top and the bottom are parallel. They will never ever touch. The sides, 1, 2, are also parallel. They will never touch. Now, a rectangle, two sides are the same. This side is the same as this side, and this side is the same as this side. Also notice it has four right angles. A right angle, a right angle, a right angle, and a right angle. All right, the next one that is a quad is called a rhombus. Say rhombus. A rhombus has four sides. It has four angles. It has two pairs of parallel lines, and four sides are the same length. This is a rhombus, and so is this. A square can be a rhombus. Again, a square can be a rhombus because it has four sides, four angles, and two pairs of parallel sides. So does this. But notice that this is a rhombus and not a square. This has two sets of parallel lines, and the lines are the same. But this is not a square. So a square can be a rhombus, but some rhombuses cannot be squares. Our next word is trapezoid. Say trapezoid. A trapezoid has four sides. It has four angles. One pair of parallel lines. This is a trapezoid. Please notice, it has four sides. It has four angles. And it only has one pair of parallel sides. This is parallel to this. These sides are intersecting. If I continued on, they would eventually run into each other. So what is this? Please have a whiteboard or a marker. You're going to write S for square, R for rectangle, T for trapezoid, or R for rhombus. So what is this? This is a square and a rhombus. Remember, a square and a rhombus go together. If it is a square, it is also a rhombus. But some rhombuses are not squares. What is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? This is a trapezoid. Trapezoids have one set of parallel lines. What is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? This is a rhombus. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, is it also a square? No, it's not. Notice that these sides are slanted. Squares do not have slanted sides. So a square can be a rhombus, but some rhombuses are not squares. All right, what quadrilaterals have 4 right angles? So what ones make perfect L's? Is it a square, a rectangle, a rhombus, or a trapezoid? Well, there are 2 shapes that make right angles. They are squares and rectangles. Squares form 4 right angles, and so do rectangles. All right, what is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? This is a rectangle. Notice that all of the sides are 4 angles and 4 sides. What makes it different is that these have smaller, this has the same sides, same sides. Notice these sides are longer than these sides. All right, what is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? This is a trapezoid. It is a trapezoid because these sides are parallel. Trapezoids are the only quadrilateral that only has one set of parallel lines. What is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? This shape is a rhombus. Notice that it has 4 sides. The sides are all the same. It also has 2 sets of parallel sides. But it's not a square because squares do not have slanted sides. All right, what quadrilaterals have 4 right angles? If you said that squares and rectangles have 4 right angles, you are correct. They are the only quads that have 4 right angles. All right, could you please draw me a square? All right, this is what you should have drawn. If you drew a picture that looks like this, you are correct. That is a square. You want your sides to be as equal as possible. Now notice something. This is something different. These sides are parallel. That means that they will never ever touch each other. These sides are also parallel. They will never ever touch each other. It has 2 sets of parallel lines. It does not have 4. These lines go together. That's 1 set. These lines go together. That's 1 set. So a square has 2 sets of parallel lines. All right, can you please draw me a rectangle? If you drew something that looks like this, you drew a rectangle. Notice that it has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. You could also draw it like this. This is also a rectangle. It has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Notice it also has 2 sets of parallel lines. These 2 lines will never touch each other. These 2 lines will also never touch each other. So it has 2 sets of parallel lines. All right, can you please draw me a rhombus? Well, a rhombus can be drawn several ways. Some of you might not be sure how to draw a rhombus. Well, a rhombus is a square, so you could just draw a square. But if you want to draw another kind of rhombus, I draw it like a diamond. First, I start with a top that looks like a triangle. Then I draw a bottom that also looks like a triangle. That's how you draw a rhombus. Notice that these two lines are parallel and these two lines are parallel. They will never ever touch. All right, let's do our next one. Can you please draw me a trapezoid? Now a trapezoid can be kind of tricky. Who's not sure how to draw a trapezoid? All right, well let me show you how to draw a trapezoid. Trapezoids have one set of parallel lines. So the first thing we want to start with is how to draw a set of parallel lines. I want these lines to never ever touch. In a trapezoid, you have one short side and you have one long side. And then you just connect the sides. Notice that these two lines will never ever touch. That's one set of parallel sides. In a trapezoid, it only has one set of lines that will never ever touch. So that is how you draw a trapezoid. All right, let's do our next one. What is this? Can you please tell me what that is? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? It is a square and a rhombus. Remember, squares can be rhombuses. All right, what is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? It is a trapezoid. All right, kiddos, what is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? It is a rectangle. All right, what is this? Is it a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid, or a rhombus? It is a rhombus. Notice that the lines are parallel and they're all the same size. All right, draw me a trapezoid. How do you draw a trapezoid? Do you guys remember? How do I draw a trapezoid? Shapes, they're hard to remember. All right, I like blipped out there. All right, so a trapezoid, it is a short side. It is a long side. Now notice those lines are parallel. They'll never touch. And then diagonal, diagonal. That's a trapezoid. All right, kiddos, let's try another one. How do you draw a rectangle? That's an easy one. All right, here's my rectangle. Let's see if you got the same thing. You get something like that, or you could have it like this. Remember, two long sides, two short sides. That is a rectangle. All right, let's try another one. Can you draw me a rhombus? How do you draw a rhombus? You remember? Well, you could draw a square because remember, a square is a rhombus. But how do you draw a rhombus? You remember? Well, a rhombus can be a triangle top and a triangle bottom. That's how you draw a rhombus. All right, kiddos, let's do another one. Can you draw me a square? I know you can draw me a square. Draw me a square. All right, this is what you should have drawn for a square. It should look like this. All the sides are the same. All the sides are the same. These are parallel. These are parallel, which means they're never going to touch each other. So it has two sets of parallel sides. All right, kiddos, let's see what else we got. What quadrilaterals have 4 right angles? What quadrilaterals have 4 right angles? Well, if you said a square and rectangles, you are correct. They are the only 2 quadrilaterals that have 4 right angles, or perfect L's. All right, kiddos, you're going to now do another lesson from another teacher. So we'll see you in a little while.